we're out here in Malaga, and I thought what better place for such a video than the SRAM test track, and this section in particular. It is absolutely littered, well, with rocks, loose ground and trees everywhere, so it makes it the perfect section to choose or think about what line you would take for it. There are a few obvious options, there's a couple of not so obvious ones as well, so let's take a look at the different lines that it's got first. This tree here is going to be the starting point of our section. It's a fairly easy, innocuous run in, just quite straight, few little rocks, but nothing to really worry about. It's down here that is where the magic is going to happen. Come on, follow me on down and let's take a little look. Come on, come on. Right. So here is where things start to split and get interesting. You can see there are rocks and trees absolutely everywhere, and the ground is pretty loose as well to really keep you on your toes. We have got a line to the very far left, which basically avoids it all. There is actually, I've noticed, a sneaky straight line all the way through the middle, but it's got a bit of a sketchy drop in it, so time will tell whether that one actually works. And then on the right-hand side, there's kind of two lines that lead into one. They're the most worn lines by the looks of it, and then there's a left-hander out of it. So that straight line is literally going to straight line hammer you all the way through. The left line, safest, but the furthest, and the right line is kind of that in between, if you like. So let's go and have a little look at those a little bit closer. This is the exit of our segment then, and it's fairly straight coming out of it, but you can see our riders right as they come into it line here. So there's a bit of an S-bend coming out. Our dead straight line through the middle just looks like an absolute garden full of boulders, a rock garden if you will. And then our very wide rider's left-hand line comes all the way around the outside, like I said, skirting around all of that nasty stuff. But it comes out a long way and makes a big old S to get back onto the main line. So let's go and ride the trail and see what each one is like. Okay, let's drop into that rider's left line. See, it's fairly loose to get out here. It is smoother coming through, but it does involve a bit of an S coming out as well. Look. Okay, this is rider's right line and to the right of the split as well. So off there, straight down through the middle, boom. Nice, good line into the turn. All right, that's them far outside lines done and dusted, and I feel like I've hit them pretty fast and pretty smooth both times, consistently if you like. So now we're going for this dead straight line. I'm coming for you, straight line. Let's see how she rides. Right, it's time for that middle, most techers line. Here she goes. Oh, that tree's tight. Oh, I'm not sure, I mean, that's a straight line. Whether it's faster, that's gotta be tight. So there we go then, I've just gone through that dead middle line and there was no turning involved whatsoever, which was noticeable obviously because you cut out all the turns. However, it was pretty sketchy, I'm not gonna lie. The size of the rocks you're constantly looking out for, the drop to flat at the end I feel eats up your speed a bit. And it's very hard to go full commitment because it is just so rough. It's a tough one to call. What kind of line is best for what kind of rider then? Well, this rider's left line, like I said, is the longest and the mellowest, so it's going to be the slowest. Not always, but in this case, I think it probably is, it's safe to say. There is the least rocks on it, it's the least steep of the three as well, and it snakes its way nicely. You'd be looking to do this kind of line if you're sort of fairly new to mountain biking. If this section proves to be a bit intimidating perhaps, this is probably the one you're gonna want to aim for, especially if time is not your thing and you just wanna make it down safely and have a bit of a laugh. But moving across, keep coming with me, come on. Like I said, this is the mainly worn line. So this is rider's right. There are two splits in it, but I think on the whole, you would come down the rider's right-hand side to open up this left-hander here, sorry. It doesn't matter, either way you go is probably a similar difficulty. You'll be aiming to do this if you do want to sort of push your limits, try and make up a bit of time and really tackle something that's a bit more red to maybe black orientated. That's a good line to do it. We're going to go down that in a mo and see what the time is, but we got to look at this middle line that I've spotted. Now, we're going to call middle line the black line or the pro line because it is by far the most difficult. Coming into it, it's a dead straight line from the beginning to the exit. There's no turning required whatsoever. So you'd have thought it would be the fastest. However, in it, there is this drop of a good couple of feet at the end. you've got this tree smack bang in the center as well, which is also leaning over. So you're gonna have to make sure that you skip out the way of that. You don't want to clip a bar on it or something as well. And it's just quite chunky, it's quite rocky and quite intimidating as well. So you're gonna have to be pretty confident and know that you've got the skill to be able to get through it. The times are in then, and in third place, the slowest line, if you like, but the most safest, with a time of 6.6, was the far left, rider's far left line. I think we kind of all expected that. The reason for this is that it is the most distance traveled, essentially, and also the entrance to it had a quite tight left, which was loose, so you lost a lot of your speed through the section there. However, don't be put off too much by the time. If you are a learner rider or you're getting into it, then there's no shame in taking lines like that, because you've got to learn and it helps you choose harder lines in the future. But in second place, this is gonna make you a bit shocked, I think. With a time of 5.1, so 1.5 seconds faster, was straight down the middle, the most techers line. Although the most direct and dead straight line, no turning required whatsoever, just the chunkiness and the technicality of it meant it was really hard to actually keep a good consistent pace through it. And also this flat drop at the end just absorbed a bit of speed. In a race run, would that be worth it? Probably not. And you got to think, if you had that kind of section repeated in places to come, you probably wouldn't end up taking those either, unless there was a clear time difference. But the winner, as we kind of know now, riders far, far right there with a time of 4.9, so 0.2 quicker. So the risk was less, the reward was greater because it was quicker, and actually there's less chance of injuring and hurting yourself as well. Despite the slight turn at the end, it was still a faster route down the mountain, which again, if you are racing, less risk is always better. So there we have it then. The line on the far right, which is kind of like the middle ground of technicality here, means that it's the fastest, but also great for learning on as well. So once you've progressed from the far left, we know that this isn't quicker, it's not worth the hassle. It's a really good area to move on to and build up your confidence and your speed. But that's it on choosing lines and picking the right lines. I hope I've been of some help to you today. It's been fun smashing some different lines. I'm out of it though. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I'll catch you next time. See you later.